You're listening to Women Empowerment Wednesday. I am your host, Coach Latoya. You can reach me on my website at www.coachingbylatoya.com. Also on Facebook, Coaching by Latoya, and on Instagram at Life Coach Latoya. So if anything resonates with you, or you just want to send a message and you want to say, hey, I like the episode, or you have an idea of an episode that you want me to talk about, definitely send me a message. Be glad to hear from you. All right, let's get into today's show. Let me just give you a little bit of background on me. Yes, I am a coach. I am a friend, sister, daughter, mother. I am very diplomatic also. I can see both sides. I'm very respectful. But I also understand how to read the room and know when it's time to go. I am not big on confrontation or conflict resolution, when I also understand ain't nobody paying any attention to me. And what I mean by this is, some years ago, my family was preparing for my grandmother's 80th birthday celebration. Now, her children planned her party. I am the grandchild. So what I mean by I have no say, this has nothing to do with me. My only role was to show up, and I was going to stand by that. Also understanding, when you know your children, you know how they respond under duress. My mother knows her daughter, me, very well. And what I also understand is my family, when my grandmother is not present, they bicker, they debate. That's what they call discussion. That's just how they do things. But when my grandmother is there, she'll shut it down. And everybody says, okay, yes, ma'am. But my grandmother wasn't there. This is a surprise for her. So I already knew it was going to be a lot of duress for me. But for them, this is just love. This is just how they communicate. So in that fashion, the meeting place was at my uncle and aunt's house. And I'm like, oh, okay. It's at their house. And my uncle and his wife. And so a girlfriend of mine lived on the block. And I called her ahead of time. I said, hey, cousin. I said, hey, friend, I'm going to be there with my family. But I know when stuff start getting out of hand for me, not for them, because this is just what they do, but out of hand for me. Can you let me in? She said, sure, I'll leave the door open. All you had the screen door, just knock, come on in. I said, all right. And my brother also knew. He said, I know you got an escape plan. Where are you going? And I told him where I was going, because he was my ride. You know, your ride need to know where you're going to be at so you can get back home. So I get into the family meeting, and we do all of our, salutations, greetings. Hey, how are you? Love you. Okay. They start their discussion. I'm sitting on the side, fine. Then it started to get heated for me, a little too much for me, because I'm a fixer. I always want to fix things. And this is nothing I can fix. This is childhood debates coming up. Who stole who candy when they were younger? I don't have nothing to do with any of that. So I got my son and made my little exit and went up the street to my girlfriend's house. Me and her sitting watching TV with her mom, laughing and joking and talking. The kids are playing. And then, about 15 minutes after that, my brother showed up. He said, yeah, I knew as soon as it got heated, you were going to be here. I said, so what you doing over here? Yeah, it got even heated after that. I said, oh, okay. So now we all just having a good time. 20 minutes after his arrival, my mother showed up. She said, I know my kids. I knew when I looked up and y'all was gone, you'd be here. Well, since the gang's here, we can go home, right? Man, we had such a good time. And I think the fact that a mother knows her children, she already knew it was going to be too much for me. And the too much was not the fact that they were just debating, discussing, whatever it is that they do. It was too much for me because there was nothing I could fix. since I'm such a fixer. So they all discussed and came up with a beautiful plan for my grandmother's birthday, and it was a fantastic celebration because they were going to pull it off anyway, regardless. But that was my issue. I couldn't fix anything, so I removed myself. So it's just knowing whenever conflict, confrontation, or so that's what you expect it to be, or the outsider looking in, that's what it would look to be. But I knew by reading the room, this is just how my family get down. This is how they discuss things. This is just how they decide things. But it wasn't anything that no one was in fear of, not in safety of. So when I say read the room, know what it is that's happening, and understand everything is not for you to fix, argue, fuss, and fight about. Just understand, is this how they always communicate? Is this normal for them? Because each generation handles things differently than the ones before them. And even the ones afterwards. Because nowadays, everybody want to text. Don't you text me. You better talk to me. I need to hear the inflection in your tone. I'm not understanding that via text. I just don't get it. And what these emojis mean, to me, if I like a blue heart, I'm going to send a blue heart. But listen, I am not equipped with those in the new times of digital communication. But love is transpired in different ways through the generations. And even for me, it was just too much. But for them, they handled it very well and pulled off a fantastic birthday. That's just how they handle things. I know my family not the only one. Everybody has something that they family do. But an outsider would look at it as, oh my goodness. But if you read the room properly, that's just how they get down. And it's all love. So I just implore you to, whenever a situation arises, read the room. Decide if it's time to go, if it's too much for you to handle, or if you could just sit back and laugh and be like, that's my family, that's just how they do, but they'll get it together before the end of this meeting is adjourned. All right, well, you can do whatever it is you need to do for yourself for the next party. You got this, and I believe in you. Read the room. Well, that will conclude today's episode on Women Empowerment Wednesdays. Don't forget, you can reach me at my website, www.coachingbyLatoya.com, on Facebook, Coaching by Latoya, and on Instagram at Life Coach Latoya. See you next Wednesday.
Loved what you've heard on this week's episode? Well, the answer is simple. It would mean the world to us if you could head over to iTunes and leave us a 5-star review and feedback. Spreading the word really is the best way to grow our podcast and achieve even greater things. Thank you.